Hi, Dr. Beth. My name is Kayla Watson, and I am excited to answer your question, hopefully the best of my ability, of what all should be in the informed consent for children with divorced parents. So the first website that I went to was the Rules and Regulations of the state of Georgia. That's the state that I am from. They did not, I could not find at least, any specific information on whether it's required that both parents sign off on the consent or where they stand on that. So I assume, just like the rest of the recommendations, that depends on the situation with the family and if one parent has sole custody or not. So to get more information, I went to some other websites that gave a lot of very helpful information to deal with this. So the first thing that I found was that counselors must obtain all of the documentation regarding custody and visitation whenever there's a divorce or separation. That way they can know what exactly they need to provide in that informed consent. And that's really important. And also to seek consent from both parents, even if it's not legally required. So in some cases, one parent might have sole custody, but if the other parent's still willing to be involved, then we should get their consent as well. And not just that, but also talk to them and keep them updated on progress, not specifics that we want to keep confidential with the child, that would be the client, but more just general things. And I also found a couple of really good actual informed consent forms for this exact situation. I thought it was interesting. They added the note that the counselor cannot make recommendations based off of custody and visitation, and that is very important to put in there. A lot of other information, behavior. If the parents cannot get along outside, then the counselor has a right to, this one specifically says they have the right to terminate services, but I'm assuming that's only in extreme cases, since as we were reading in the text this week, you don't want to do that unless it's a very extreme case. And so I thought adding the custody and visitation issue on there was important. And there was also a really good article I found that was talking to the child about what that informed consent looks like with them. So this article is saying that what they talk about with the client, which is the child, and the counselor in their sessions would be kept confidential unless it is something that would be harmful to them. Or if they say something about any form of child abuse or something like that. And they give a lot of really good examples. And so they would put this in their informed consent. That way the child also and the parents know fully well. That way the parents might not get mad if they don't know everything the child is saying. And also the child is very aware that they can be open and they can be honest. But if they say certain things, then the counselor has a right to share that information. So that was really important. Also, it has both parents' signature spaces, and that's also really important, I believe, as well. I did note in a lot of these articles it said that if one of the parents is not willing to cooperate and to be around, then we have to also respect that as well. And then the last article that I saw, this one is actually another informed consent form, and I really liked this form a lot. It gave a lot of good details of what to add onto an informed consent for those divorced parents or the parents going through custody and all of that. And it talks a lot about how if there's one particular guardian that is assigned to that child as their main guardian or their sole custody or something like that, then the counselor has the right to only speak to them. Like we've already said, it's important to include both, though. This one also says that if the parents are in the process of divorcing or already divorced, the counselor requires a copy of the standing court order demonstrating the custodial rights of each parent, and the parenting agreement that is signed by both parents and the judge. So that's really important for the counselor to know who exactly they need to be talking to the most, and making sure that they have consent from both of those parents if both of those parents have the legal right. Especially, like this says, in terms of medical issues as well. It's extremely important. They would need written consent for the child for that as well. There was a lot of other things on here that I really liked. But overall, I think the main things that are important to add are just letting them know that we really want both parents involved, but if one is not interested or one does not have rights, or let's say that, one parent is the sole custody and they really don't want the other one in the child's life at all and they don't have a legal right. In certain situations, it's all right to not have both, but it is important to have both. And also just letting them know, if you would like someone to talk about custody and all that, then they can refer you to a different counselor. That's important to know. It's important for the parents to know what kind of information they will have, what kind of information they won't. This particular informed consent also talks about how they might need to sit down with both parents or include all the parents and all the family members involved in the counseling sessions every now and then. So letting them know up front, letting them know how they need to behave in the situation that's best for the child. And that's all they have. Thank you.